Welcome in to those tuning in to the show. Once again, I'm your host, Tavares Wilson. As you all know by now, I always get the last word, man. So let's get right into it, man. I want to jump into some topics tonight. It's a lot to discuss, but before we get into the nitty gritty, I want to make sure that you guys are following me on all my social media platforms. Remember, the name is LastWord Productions across the board. I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube as we speak right now. Hit that bell notification, be notified on YouTube when we do go live, as well as on Facebook Live. So if you're ever interested in following the show, keeping up, multiple ways to do so. So let's get right into it, man. I want to speak on the thing that has burdened us as sports fans, as football fans in particular, these last couple of days, excuse me. And that is the unfortunate passing of Rondale Moore. You know, as we all know by now, we all know he committed suicide. He ultimately took his own life. Extremely unfortunate, extremely sad. You never, ever like to hear these kind of stories come out, and you never like to see these kind of things plague the sport that we love, and ultimately you just never like to see it.
What's going on, bro?
Yeah, I was just kicking off the show first topic with, you know, as we know, he sadly took his life, and I want to take this opportunity, man. And I hate to make it seem like we're doing it because of what happened to Rondell Moore, but we should always be concerned with the well-being of our loved ones and the people we hold dear to us. So I want to say this: y'all check on y'all people, man. Like it's just that simple, bro. You never know what's going on. But I know it's hard when we look at these guys and they're living their dreams out. They're playing in the NFL. You know, they're on top of the world, whatever the case may be, however it may look from the inside, from the outside looking in. But just always unfortunate to see it happen to such a young dude, man. We're talking about a 25-year-old, bro. Like whole life ahead of him, you know. And it's bigger than football. It's not even about the career. It's the fact that you're talking about a young guy who had everything going, and I got a lot of feedback in your background, bro.
Hold on, let me check it real quick.
But it is unfortunate, guys. It's just a lot. It's just a lot that I can't. Like I said, man, it's hard for me even to explain how I feel about this because I feel so strongly about it. I'm so passionate about it. Like we see now with Rondell Moore, we seen it with Curran Lacey, even with entertaining a Lil Papa, we see it, man. It's unfortunate. But what are your thoughts, Mike? What you got?
Similar, and this is somebody like myself that works in the mental health field and deals with people who struggle with all kind of things, from depression to schizophrenia and everything. You just never know what somebody's dealing with, and kind of like what you said, like we just assume because they athletes, you're getting paid millions of dollars to play a game, everything should be cool, and a lot of the times it can be the worst, especially when you've never had that. Like you come into money.
I wanna address this comment. I don't mean to cut you off, my brother, but I got
You good, I ain't shit.
Taylor Anderson. Listen, bro, you could go on with all this talk. I'm not even gonna give you the satisfaction of putting your comment up because we're talking about something more serious than anything we may ever talk about on this podcast. We're talking about someone who ultimately took his own life because he didn't have people in support of him, possibly, or people who was reaching out to him. And it's people like you that make this topic so infuriating for me because y'all don't take it seriously. There are a lot of people out here who are literally living through traumatic events and memories, and they can't even speak on it because of individuals like you. If you can't take 5-10 minutes out of sports or whatever the case may be to discuss this, you go about your business, bro. This is not the podcast for you. But go ahead, Mike.
Nah, stuff like that though. Like people who say stuff like I just read it. People who say stuff like that, it's like that's why people don't say nothing. And then stuff happens, and then all of a sudden everybody is so just sad and so just, oh, I can't believe it. It's like, yeah, you wouldn't believe it, but you also wouldn't believe, you know what I'm saying, the ways you conducting yourself and carrying yourself while stuff like this is being discussed. Like that was a
Right.
young man, he was 25 years old. His life literally just started. Like I don't know if he had children or a kid or anything, or his situation as far as who's left in his family or who he left behind as far as parents or siblings, or whatever. But that's somebody's kid, that's somebody's child, man. Essentially, no matter how old you always somebody's child. That's somebody's child gone, somebody's son gone, somebody dad potentially gone, or the
Mm-hmm.
children that he would have had in the future, even if he didn't have kids. Like you don't know what people can grow to be, what they can turn out to do in life, and so when something like that happens, man, especially like right after the season, like the season just ended. It was just Super Bowl was what 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and
Yeah.
then it's like it's over, done. And he was talented, like he was very good college player. I remember him vividly, even at Purdue. Like not too many football players come out of Purdue, but I remember him vividly being the reason they beat Ohio State one year. Like he single handedly cooked us. Like bro was electric. So for him to have the opportunity to play in the NFL, fulfill, I'm sure, what was a childhood dream for him, and for it still to not be enough to feel like his life was worth living, that's tough. And it really make you wonder, like, what ultimately pushed him to the edge. There's always that one thing that kind of always pushes you over the edge. And it's not even just in situations where you may take your own life, but even for people who just spaz one day. Especially like you had that one friend that's always calm, and then one day they go off. You like, damn, like what's going on with you? It's always that one last little thing, or that one comment somebody may make, or that one thing somebody may overlook that you did for them that you felt like you wanted, appreciation or something for that could just make you feel like, man, I don't even want to do this shit no more. And so I feel bad that he got to that point. I definitely mental health is something that I take very seriously. Like I said, working in that field and having these conversations with people directly who have something so simple. Like I've had people that I work with that are, you know, women especially who had psychotic breaks because they lost a child. They were giving birth and the child didn't make it, or you run into people who, watch their parents or their loved ones get killed in front of them and they just start doing drugs. All these different things that trigger these psychotic breaks. Every person has a point of no return. We all got it.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately for him, it led him to take his life. And I wish he'd have been able to get help. I wish those in his circle, if they weren't, would have, reached out more, and not just for favors, but to genuinely check on him and do things to make his life easy. So definitely RIP to him and to the others, like you said, Kyron Lacey, Lil Papa, all the other people that are, taking their lives, man. And this year already in this short time, and just, toward the end of last year, it's definitely sad to see for.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's first and foremost, my thoughts and prayers go out to Rondell Moore's family, of course. Family, friends, and all in between, his loved ones. So I gotta say that first and foremost, and secondly, like I said, bro, it has to be taken more seriously because it's a reoccurring issue, and it's something that has over the years. I know a lot of people may not know, but this is an increasingly scary sight, like statistic. Like I believe the suicide rate is not something that's going away. In fact, it's something that's gradually getting worse, and it's just disturbing, and it truly saddens me to see what's happening, what's transpiring, and I just hope, man, that things can subside for people to just do and want better out of their lives, just to just ultimately just feel like it'll be better if it just ended. I truly do. But you got anything to add, Mike?
No, no, I agree with you 100%, man. I just hope the more people that are seeing these things happen more frequently, unfortunately, because they are more frequent, start to take it more serious, man. Like really, like people say, like you see the status all the time. We'll check on your strong friends or your happy friends. That's legit, bro. Check on them people that's always making everybody else laugh. That's always making everybody else day or their life easier. That you always call when you need a favor. That's always coming through for you. Come through for them too. You may not be able to repay it back monetarily, but you can repay it back with your ear. You can repay it back with your heart. You can repay it back with just your effort to attempt to do something that impacts them in a positive way and lets them know you care. So that's it.
No, I completely agree, gang. Completely agree. But let's move off into the next topic, man. We're gonna speak on football related things now. Um, Trent Williams right now is, as you may know, my boy says you're not a guy. He's at a standstill right now, pretty much in contract talks, and it's looking like it's a real possibility he can become an unrestricted free agent and sign elsewhere. So I just want to
Yeah.
get your, what do you think of that? If that is a real possibility to you, who do you believe would be a good suitor for him if he had to go?
Honestly, man, Trent is a walk-in first ballot Hall of Famer. He's probably one of the best, if not the best, left tackle to ever play the game. Just from what he's done, accomplishment-wise, his ability, what he's able to do in a run game and a pass game. I never seen a left tackle pull all the way from the left side of the line, come around and just destroy a linebacker on the outside like that. Like the man, he's athletic, he's talented, and then just looking at what he overcame in life, like beating the cancer, thinking he was going to have to retire, coming back, and then being an All-Pro left tackle like that again at that level, like a monster. But at the same time, bro, is 37, 38. Um, he's had ankle injuries and different things like that the last couple of years. Even this past year, like we had to play uh week 18 in Seattle without him because of the ankle injuries or whatever. And so while I do want to keep him because I feel like it'll be good, he still can contribute at a high level and also will be a hell of a person for a young lineman that we should draft to learn from. If he wants top tackle money, unfortunately, we're going to have to let him go. And it sucks because I don't want to. He's an integral part of what we do, and I feel much better going to bed at night knowing he protecting Brock Purdy blindside. But at a certain point, man, I think one of the things that we've done as a disservice to Brock and to just our quarterbacks in general is not having younger players in these roles behind these vets to learn from that could be able to step in at a time like this where we got to make a tough decision. Because at the end of the day, he wants more. He wants a longer contract. Cool, I'm fine with keeping him, but you can't. I can't give you top five left tackle money, bro. Like I just can't. I can't justify doing it with all the other holes we got. We need more defense. We need a new offensive line. Period, because offensive line has been ass. I ain't even gonna lie to you, it's been terrible, average at best, and that's just being nice. But we got to get better up front at all five spots, with the exception of guard. Dominic Pooney's really good, but every other spot we paid Colton McKivitz at right tackle, who I honestly didn't want to keep. I wish we didn't pay dude. Gave him 15 million a year for 3 years. He's not good in my opinion, but they paid him. We stuck with him. I'd have let his ass walk just like we let McGlinchey walk a few years ago and we let him go to the Broncos. But that's neither here nor there at this point. It's too late. So I would tell him, hey, we'll keep you. We want to keep you. We want you here. We want you to retire a Niner. This is the price we can do it at, bro. And you already know what we got it going on. You know what we got to do to get back where we want to go. Like the window is not closed. And I think last year, even with all the injuries, the way everybody showed up and played and stepped up shows the window is not closed. NFC is still loaded. NFC West is the best division in football still, regardless, and will be again next year with those three teams at the top of it. But we got to fill out the roster, bro. Do you want a chance to win a chip or you want to just get your bread? If you want to get your bread, we ain't mad at you. You deserve it. We'll let you go find it elsewhere. We just can't afford it.
Right.
So I personally want to draft Caden Proctor with our first round pick this year if we can. But we'll see.
Okay, so with all that, bro, where do you think he could end up then? If it is if you really think that's that strong of a possibility, who do you think get him, or who do you think is a good fit? Whichever
I
way.
think he goes to a team that literally is like that one elite protector away from a Super Bowl. I could honestly, or just going to play with a team. I could see him going to like Tennessee and playing left tackle down there, following Robert Saleh and protecting Cam Ward. I could see him going to um, Cleveland. I could see him going to a few different teams, honestly. Like I think even Chicago, like the Bears got a love Darnell Wright, the right tackle is like an all pro right tackle, but the left tackle, he kind of up and down. I think he'd make a better guard. So I could see him going to Chicago. But I mean, there will be a market for Trent for sure. Like he's still Trent Williams. I just can't justify giving you that money at 38, knowing that you may miss games during the season.
Right, right. Well, for me, man, I think I agree with you completely in terms of the Niners have plenty of other holes to fill in terms of what they need to prioritize over paying Trent Williams. And it's crazy that may sound to some people because it's like how you just said, it's a walking first ballot Hall of Famer, arguably the greatest left tackle to ever play the game. I think you could throw a lot of guys in that discussion. I personally still, for my money, would probably take Joe Thomas. I just think he was wasted in Cleveland, but that's
Fair.
another discussion for another day. But at the end of the day, Trent Williams is one of the best tackles to ever play this game. That's bar none, without question. So of course he's going to have a high market, and of course he's going to demand a lot. So with that demand comes asking price and buying price that I don't think the Niners can afford to pay at this point. They have too many other holes and pieces that need to be filled. So what does that mean? I think it means this comes to an inevitable end in terms of their relationship from a football and business perspective. I don't think it's any hard feelings. I don't think it should be. It's just, this is the aspect of the game. This is the beauty within the beast. You feel me? So it's like you got to take the good with the bad. And for me personally, good fits. I truly believe a team that can make a good, solid push for Trent Williams for 2 years. I really believe it could come down to the Chiefs, and the Ravens. I think
Damn, I think about the Chief.
I think their tackle situation on both teams are not that good. I mean, I know Ronnie Stanley is okay, but
He's better at right tackle than left for sure.
exactly. So it's like I think you need to put him back where he's naturally, resides and where he plays his best ball. And I just think the Chiefs. I mean, I know they got good guards, but their tackles have been revolving doors the last 3 years.
Especially left tackle. Right tackle, they took Josh Simmons. I think he'll be fine. He just got hurt last year, but yeah, they definitely need a left tackle. That was why. That's what got me. That's what got Pat Cook. So
Yeah, so they need help there for sure. So I can see those two teams making that push for a veteran who they know will come in and be a stud for. Maybe he'll get hurt game or two, 3, 4 games, but he'll be there for the playoffs. So I think I think that'll be big for them. So I personally can see them making that move because I agree with your first sentiment of him wanting to go to a contender who may be a stellar tackle away from being in the hands. So I agree with that.
yeah,
But anything else you want to add, bro, before we move on?
maybe the Chargers too. Justin Herbert got destroyed this year.
Uh,
So
that's more so because of injuries. They got Rashawn Slater coming back and
yeah, but
Joe.
he a right tackle, and then the other dude was a guard. Who's their left tackle?
Rashawn Slater.
I thought he was right tackle.
Nah, Joe Alt, they right tackle.
Right. Never mind. You're right. They did take Joe. All right.
Yeah. But I mean, hey, it wouldn't hurt to put. I mean, Slater's an all pro tackle, so I don't think they'll move him.
Nah, but I mean, the Patriots might need him. Hell, what's name was getting his ass kicked, dog. Will Campbell was getting his ass tore up. So maybe the Patriots.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't think they want to hurt his confidence. They bring in Trent Williams. I think he knows that the right ain't gonna be able.
Now bump his ass inside the guard, let him learn, and he can still play right next to him. So you still learning everything from him. And when Trent retire, you right back outside. But that's them short arms, bro, got coming back to bite him in the ass. You only got a 2-3 year window before you got to pay Drake. So this is second year. You really got 1 year left. After next year, you're gonna have to pay him if you
Yeah,
want to get it done early. So,
for sure.
um,
But let's move off into the next topic, man. We're gonna discuss. I want to discuss Malik Willis, man, because I know we spoke about this last pod, and I know Breeze was kind of on the fence of Malik Willis making 25, 30 plus million, and that's what all the reports are saying. He's going to make 30 million at least.
mm-hmm.
I kind of stated so the market, as you know, because you was there, but the market's the market, bro. Like I
Bottom line.
understand it's a small sample size. I understand that he only has a handful of games to go off based off of what he can do at a really high level, whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, there are a lot of teams out here who can use a young, athletic quarterback. I mean, it's just that simple, and they're going to pay the money they need to try to make it happen. And with all that being said, I think it's a sure and he's getting 30 plus million. I don't think it goes without question. I don't think he's gonna get no 5 year 150, 165, 85, 90 guaranteed fully. I don't think that. But I think he's going to get you a 2-year, maybe 65, $70 million deal, maybe 30 million guaranteed, like maybe an 18 million signing, but something like he gets something along those lines. But my question now for you, Mike, is who pulls the trigger? Who do you think actually goes out and give Malik Willis that chance and that money?
So it's a couple teams. The Steelers are obviously one of them.
Okay, good answer.
But at the same time, they do have, what are they picking, 21st? And right now, the projections have them taking Ty Simpson. Last year had them taking Shadur and or Jackson Dart, and they took neither. So we don't necessarily have a reason to believe that they would take Ty Simpson, but it's possible because you don't know if Rogers going to come back if he really done. You don't know. I would also say the well, no, they gonna take Fernando number one, so I won't say the Raiders. But the Dolphins is a good choice.
Yeah,
You still got Waddle. You still got the other kid. He showed he was doing pretty good. Malik Washington, I think his name is, or something like that.
Malik
He was
Willis.
pretty solid, and you can always draft another receiver. This draft is receiver deep, so you'll be all right picking up another guy. I would also say the Colts. Honestly, they team ready made Daniel Jones towards Achilles, so I can give Malik 2 for 40. Let Daniel, if I really want to bring Daniel back that bad, I can give Malik 2 for 60 or 2 for 58, 55, fully guaranteed, whatever, and then see what Daniel Jones' progression looks like throughout this season, and then make it next year. It'll be Malik on a 1 year deal, and then make it a QB competition at that point. That way, at the end of that second year, whichever one you want to sign long term, you can get that long term money too. And then I would say the Vikings. Those would be my three teams. The Vikings definitely need a quarterback. JJ McCarthy ain't it. And I think literally going down the street to Minnesota, you throwing that motherfucker to Jettis, you throwing that motherfucker to Jordan Addison, you throwing that bitch to Hawkinson, you dropping that motherfucker off to Aaron Jones out the backfield. Like, that's ready made. Like, you can get in there and go. You got better weapons than what you had in Green Bay. And you got the second or third best receiver, well, top 4, 5 receiver, I guess, however you want to look at Justin Jefferson now, after we've seen what we've seen this past year, even though it's not really his fault, but just from the other guys stepping their game up like a Puka, a JSN, Jamar still being Jamar, whatever. So you got top 5 receiver. So I would say there. I would pick them. If he could hand pick, I would go to Minnesota because you just got a better situation.
For sure. For me, it's two teams that come to mind immediately. Miami is one for sure because the ties of Jeff Hafley and the general manager we hired from both come from the Green Bay tree. They both know who he is. They both know what he's comfortable with. It just makes sense from that perspective. And plus, as we all know, it's not a secret. Moved on from this coming off season. They're gonna eat a lot of cap money, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. And the other thing that comes to mind is Arizona. I think with Mike LaFleur going there, Matt LaFleur's younger brother, I think there's some ties there. I think they have spoken. Kyler Murray's another quarterback that will be departing his, current team. So there's going to be an availability there. And I don't believe they're trying to put the eggs in a basket on a young guy in terms of someone in this draft. I think they're going to draft much, much, much bigger issues on that team because you have a secondary that's okay, it's solid, it's good, but you got a pass rush that's non-existent. Your linebackers are at best okay, and your offensive line is not the best. So you have other things you have to worry about. Granted, the quarterback position is you need a guy that's going to come in and be a fundamental piece for your quarterback before anything else. So I think drafting that should take priority. And if Malik Willis is available, I don't see why they wouldn't make a move for him. I mean, you're in a team that's rebuilding. He's a player that's progressing and getting better. So it just makes sense from that perspective, in my opinion. You could grow the team around your young quarterback who's growing himself. So those are two teams that come to mind immediately. Pittsburgh, because Mike McCarthy's there now. He's a offensive guy. That's what he made his bread and butter on. I personally believe he's, had the benefit of playing some really talented quarterbacks. But that again, that's another conversation for another day. But he's an offensive guy. Of course, he's going to have to come in and want to play with a talented quarterback who he can work with and actually push the ball downfield with, because that's what Mike McCarthy does. That's the kind of game plan he comes up with. But they don't know what's going on with Aaron Rodgers either, so that just put more fuel to the fire. So I think that could be a real possibility as well. Not as strong as a possibility, in my opinion, but I think that's a real possibility. Those are three teams I look at immediately when I think of where Malik Willis can go and actually get that kind of money.
Facts.
But anything else you want to add, bro, before we move on?
No, I'm good with that.
All right, so let's there. He has been granted permission to seek a trade. This was his second season with the Bears after the signing. I believe it was a 4-year deal from Buffalo 2 years back or a year ago when Caleb Williams got drafted. So this was his second season with them, and he's granted permission to seek a trade. By all reports, he is not happy with the role he's playing with the Bears. So my question, what happened, bro?
I ain't said nothing.
Okay, my question for you is, bro, where do you think he goes? Like, if he does end up getting ultimately moved, where does he go?
There's so many teams that need linebacker, especially that middle linebacker. Yeah, he's still a really good player. He's had a couple injuries, but 6'4" with range, can run. He's okay as a coverage linebacker. I think he can get a lot better in that area. Definitely fits well against the run. Um, Honestly, not being funny, we need linebacker like a motherfucker. I think him next to Fred, being able to learn from Fred would do us some justice for sure. I would also look at a team like honestly, I would say the Ravens are a good option too. You can't just have Roquan doing everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? He needs some help. So a Roquan, him at the Ravens. I would also say maybe a younger team who ain't really, he might if his desire is to get paid. I guess it depends. If he wants to go win somewhere, he was winning in Chicago, but he wasn't happy with his role. So whatever he wants his role to be, if it's to start and make more money, he can go to a younger, inexperienced team that ain't really got nothing going, like a Tennessee. I think Robert Saleh could use him like a chess piece, kind of how he used Fred Warner or whatever in that defense. I think the Jets would be a good option too for him to go play under Aaron Glenn. Him and Quincy Williams would be a nice linebacker tandem, in my opinion. But I don't. It just depends on what his desire is. Is it to win right now? Like, you just want to win something, or you want your bread? So
Okay. For me, I'm looking at it from the perspective of I think he's going to go wherever the market dictates, because he's a solid player. He's a decent player. He's not anyone who's coming in and going to change the trajectory of a team, essentially. So I think he's going to already be a good situation. So I can see a team like the Rams making that move. I think outside of, I mean, I forgot the man's name, man. Outside of the white boy they got, what's his name?
who? The Rams.
Yeah,
Uh,
Random, I think.
Something like that. Yeah, I know you talking about. I can't think of his name either, but I know you talking about.
Yeah, and outside of him, to me they don't have much at linebacker, so I can see them making that move. I can see a team like the Buccaneers making a move for him. They're Levante David can't play forever, so it's like you got to
True.
start preparing for him to essentially be, calling it a career and hanging it up. So I can see him going there, playing season under Levante, learning a thing or two from him, possibly. I can see that. And I also see him going to the Chargers. I think The defense is already stellar. But I know, you got guys like Denzel Perryman who solid but stays hurt. You need guys to come in who could play all three downs. Hey, I think Tremaine Edmonds could be the guy there too. And I know they haven't had too much luck drafting guys at that position. So maybe you go out and you veteran guy. So I can personally see those three teams making that because they're pretty playoff teams consistently. So I think adding a linebacker who's pretty good would just make your chances come postseason that much better.
I'm with that.
Sure. So let's move off into the next topic, man. We're gonna switch to basketball real fast. And I want to speak on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Right now, the Cavs have been red hot. They've won 8 of their last 9 games since trading for James Harden. This is a team that has grown exponentially since trading for James Harden. You can see the difference it makes for Jared Allen specifically, man. He is playing like a whole nother player, bro. Like me and Bree said this, and we all kind of agreed to it. We knew James Harden coming into the building was going to be the best thing that happened to Jared Allen and Evan Mobley this season, and it sure looks that way. Because, and I say this, and this is why I say James Harden, for my money, is the third best shooting guard ever played. Because there's not too many shooting guards, there's not too many guards who can go from a scoring machine, just giving you 40 a night, to being able to give you 11 assists on average. Like, there's not too many that could do that. So his playmaking ability is something that we don't really typically see from shooting guards, and it's something special because he can legitimately play the point guard position as a natural point guard. And I'm not just talking about assists. I'm talking about being able to pass at such an efficient clip and level that you're literally you're throwing guys open almost like in football. You're seeing the lanes differently. You're handling the ball. You're able to slow down the tempo of the game back momentum, and actually get your team in a rhythm. So it's like, that's special, bro. I truly believe that's a special trait that he has that a lot of people have taken for granted because he was looked at as this scoring machine and one of the best ISO scorers we've ever seen. He's always been an elite playmaker. But he's brought that to Cleveland, and it's done nothing but pay dividends for the bigs around him, and even Donovan Mitchell, because he doesn't have to have the ball in his hand 24/7. So my question for you, though, Mike, with all that being said, who do you believe currently, as it stands, are they the favorite to come out?
It's hard to say they are just because Detroit's been consistent all year long. I personally like Cleveland better just because I like their talent, their versatility, and their players better. I feel like they have more options, whereas Detroit is kind of just Cade or bust. But I would still get it out to Detroit because they play both ends of the floor collectively as a team. Everybody's bought into what they're doing. But James Harden definitely. I think for me, like when you mentioned though, like his playmaking, it makes him to you like that's why he's the third best shooting guard. I think the reason for me, I still always put Dwayne Wade third over him is because of the defensive end of the floor. Like Dwayne Wade was elite defensively on both ends as well as scoring the ball. So I him that
Still got D Wade over him. I meant to say fourth best.
yeah, fourth. I mean, I think it's hard to argue anybody else other than that typical three of Wade, Kobe, and Jordan over Harden. I don't think you can really definitively put anybody else over them three without it being a genuine conversation because he's done it. Like you said, to be able to go from averaging 35, 36, and now I can give you 13 assists a game or 11 assists a game, and it looks good. Like it's genuine, impactful playmaking. It's not just you just piling up assist numbers, just throwing it to an open shooter on a kickback. Like it's genuine setting up, pick and rolls, pick and pops, lob threat at the rim. He's an excellent lob passer. He gives it to shooters in their pocket, bounce passes. He knows when to fake it, when to pump fake, and because he can shoot the floater so well, you gotta respect it. You still gotta guard him. So if you step up too close, it's a dunk. Jared Allen dunking it, Mobley dunking it. You don't step up close enough, it's a floater, it's a teardrop. It might as well be a layup because he got a nice float game. So I think they're definitely the most dangerous team for sure. But I would still give them as far as the favorite, I'll still give Detroit their respect because I feel like they've earned it up to this point, just from start to finish, or start to this point so far.
Okay. I personally agree with you. I still think Detroit. I'm, I'm not too confident in it because, like I said before to Gino, my biggest thing with Detroit is the inexperience, bro. They're a young team. They don't have that playoff pedigree to them. They have inexperience. Robinson, who you're not banking on Duncan Robinson to be the difference maker in the series, but outside of Duncan Robinson, Tobias Harris, again, two guys who not you're not convincing me that this team has enough playoff pedigree or experience to not be concerned. Because I mean, their main contributors, Cade Cunningham, Jonathan, you know, Thompson twin, you know, you got guys that can play for sure, but them lights get brighter, bro, when it comes the end of the season, and you have to plan for. You know, when the games matter a lot more, when you got best out of seven, who wants it more? So it's going to show a lot that first series, bro. Regardless of who they play, for me personally, I don't think it's going to matter. I need to see those first round jitters work themselves out because I know they're going to be there. I know they're going to have their growing pains. I understand that they're young players, but I got to see them actually put pen to paper in a sense when it comes to showing me they're the best team in the East. Because listen, all respect to the coaching job over there, man. You feel me? But it's going to be a lot different when it comes down to them lights, bro. It's going to be a lot different. So I gotta see it, dog. But for now, I will agree. I do think they're the team to beat in the East. But I gotta see it play out first and foremost. But anything else you want to add, bro, before we move on? You get me?
Oh, we good.
I ain't my bad. But okay, so let's get off into another team in the NBA, man. I want to speak on the Spurs specifically. The Spurs are right now, I believe they won 9 straight games, if I'm not mistaken. And they're hot right now, bro. They're playing with Victor Wembanyama, who, by all means, for my money, is the best defensive player, best two-way player in the league right now. So we know they got De'Aaron Fox. We know they got Stephen Castle. We know they got a lot of young wings and guards that could just flat out run and fill lanes and play. So it's like right now, this is a team that just seems to be poised to essentially take another step. But I have the same concerns that I've had about Detroit with the Spurs. You know, their team. Do they have enough playoff pedigree and experience to go into the postseason to actually work through those growing pains and make it happen come postseason? So my question for you, Mike, is are the Spurs currently right now, do you believe they're actual threats to come out the West?
I would say no, only because they haven't gotten to the playoffs. Like I feel like they'll be like what Detroit will be this year, next year. Like Detroit got to the playoffs finally after a drought, and then they ran into the Knicks, who had a little bit more experience, and it cost them. I think, depending on who they match up with in the playoffs, like if they had to play like a Denver or OKC, even with their injuries, I think they beat OKC. But if they had to play like a Denver, I don't think they would beat a Denver or certain teams. So I think it just depends on who they draw in the first round. They could be dangerous, but I just think the inexperience and them not having been there yet, especially with their team being so young, the only person that's really got playoff experience or play-in experience is De'Aaron Fox
Yeah.
that I can think of, and then Harrison Barnes also, who's a champion or whatever. But there's only so much he can teach. Them two can teach them guys. Like they have to play it for themselves and experience real playoff minutes, real momentum swings up and down, things like that. So I don't think they're ready just yet, but I think in another year they could be.
Okay. Breeze said he under the weather. I appreciate the support always, bro. And I don't agree with your statement, my boy. I love Jalen Brown. Like I told y'all on the show before, I think Jalen Brown I've always said that was another level to Jalen Brown. A lot of people laughed at me. I've said I think he could be just as good as Tatum. I said that. Many people don't agree with that, but hey, he's showing that he could be, and that's what he's doing right now. But nah, he's not a better two-way player than Wemby, bro. I'm not gonna hold you. But hey, hell of a player though. I think Jalen Brown has worked his way to the MVP conversation for sure. But let's get off into one last topic before we end the night, man. I want to go ahead and discuss one thing because I want to say the key three cut five when we got more people in the building. But we're going to discuss the MVP race right now. Speaking of it, MVP in the NBA right now. There's a lot of guys who may fall from the wayside because of the 65 game rule, and I know. Let me straight off a little bit. I know a lot of people aren't in support of it, but I personally do support it because I think part of being these Players of the Year awards, whatever it may be, comeback player, defensive player, MVP, whatever. A part of that is playing the game night in and night out, consistent. And you have to be able to do that at a high clip amongst the other players in your league, multiple games. And I think 65 games is a pretty fair standard because that's almost 20 games you can miss. So it's not like you're being asked to play, every game. It's not 75, it's not 80. 65, maybe if you want to argue 60, okay, but 65 for me seems fair. So guys like Luka, guys like Wemby, Shea, it could be a real possibility that he's got. Well, not Shea, or Jokic. It could be a real possibility that these guys could just be eliminated altogether from it.
Yeah, Jokic out. I think he's already missed more than 17, so he's done.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so it's a real possibility that a lot of these guys fall from the wayside because of the rule. So with all that being said, though, Mike, who do you have as your MVP favorite as it stands now?
I would have to say Cade, kind of just because he's carried Detroit. A lot of people thought Detroit hit early last year and that they wouldn't be back, and they're the number one team in the East, and I think they might be the number one team in the league overall. I'm not 100% sure on that. I had to double check their record, but if they're not, they're close. And he's been consistent all year. And I know a lot of people, like, Gino on the field, the guys are like, oh, he's better than this player, that player, or whatever. And my thing was, can he do it for more than 1 year? Can we see it? He had the injuries early in his career. Last year, he was really dominant, and he's followed that up with an even better year than he had last year when he kind of came onto the scene as a future superstar in the league. And so I think he's really embraced that. He could definitely tell he put the work in during the summertime. So as of right now, I think you got a reward, especially in a city like Detroit. In that market, like Detroit basketball is worth watching again. And that's, I mean, granted, it's due to other players, but it's pretty much majority solely due to him living up to being that number one pick and handling this business. So I would have to give it to him for sure.
Yeah, I agree completely, man. I think he's earned it. He's he's elevating a bad franchise, bro. In my personal opinion, whenever you could do that,
Yeah.
you earn certain conversations and certain talks that you just simply you would not be a part of if you were already on a good franchise, a good front office, good players, good role players, and you simply just was playing well. He's playing exceptional with a team that we literally were saying have not been anything worth mentioning outside of 20 years ago when it was the Bad Boy Pistons. So it's like this is a team that has gotten better, and it's mostly 80% of it is because of him. And I know coach again. I know coach matters, and again, what's the coach name? I forgot.
JB Bickerstaff.
Yeah, David Biggerstaff has done a hell of a job. All respect to him, but
It's Cade.
knowing why he was this guy that was taken as high as he was taken, he's special. We're talking about a what he is, 6'7", 6'6" guard, can run like hell, shoot the ball, shoots the ball pretty well, finish at the rim well, athletic, great playmaker. I mean, right now I think he's putting up 30 and 10 right now. So it's like this is a guy who can really play for real. And Detroit has not had that in a long time. So yeah, man, I agree with you, Mike. I think for my money, I will go Cade for sure. I think it has to be him at this point. Personally, I think it has to be him.
Facts. He earned it. He definitely showing up. I would love for. I don't think Luka's gonna play enough games, like you said. Shea, I don't think Shea or Joker will play enough. I think Wemby's missed. He'll by the time the year's over, he'll probably miss that 17 mark. If not, he'll be really close. And it can come down to him and Cade. Dark horse, just off my favorite player to watch. Honestly, I think we should get Jalen Brown some more love too in that conversation because what he's doing with that team is incredible. Like you said, he took it to another level. He unlocked another level of ball. So I think he deserves some consideration as well. He should be in that top 3 to 5 on the MVP ladder right now, behind Wimby and Cade.
I think he is.
Is he?
Yeah. Last time I checked the odds, he was. But yeah, sure, Cade is. But listen, man, it's gonna be a short episode tonight. We keep 3 cut 5 tonight. We're gonna do that when we have more parties involved. But with all that being said, regardless, appreciate those who did tune in to the show as always. If y'all are not doing so already, man, hit like, subscribe on the YouTube channel, hit that bell notification to be notified whenever we do go live. And if you're tuning in on Facebook right now, hit that follow button on Facebook. You'll be notified when we go live on there as well. So if you're not doing any of those things right now, go ahead and do so now and follow me on my other platforms. LastWord Productions is the handle across the board, man. But you got anything else you want to add, Mike, before we head out?
Nah, man. Shout out, appreciate everybody from tuning in, man. We'll see y'all next time.
For sure, for sure. And we will be an episode tomorrow night. It's going to be a late episode. It's going to be at 10:30 Eastern time. So if you guys want to tune in and check that out, go ahead and check that out as well, man. But all right, man. I'll see you later, my boy.
Yes, sir.